Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. This video is going to be about this 2022 Toyota Tundra Limited TRD Off-Road double cab with the 6.5 foot bed. So if you're new here, I'm not a car reviewer, I'm not a truck reviewer, I'm not even like a product reviewer or a gear reviewer. I'm a user of gear. I'm a gear user. I'm a truck user. So this is my own personal truck. I've owned it for a month, 1 month ownership update. And I just say that because I watch a lot of videos. It's kind of funny. We ramble a little bit on this channel if you're new here. So I just bought a 2007 Toyota Sequoia. I'm going to do a video on that soon. It's not here because part of the reason I bought it was because my family was coming to town for my wedding. I'm getting married in a couple days actually, so I'm trying to squeeze this video in before it starts raining on me because this is the only time I have to film a video. So it's probably going to start raining on me. But, this is what I was getting at. So I watch a lot of YouTube. I practice what I preach. I consume a lot of information. I love information. I'm just like, I love learning about things. And then obviously when I get a new vehicle, like the Sequoia or the Tundra, I consume a lot of information on said vehicles. So like the 2022 Tundra, all the videos out there are just of like car reviewers. They're all saying the same thing. They're all pointing out the same stuff. They're all the same to me. No offense to car reviewer channels out there. Good job, guys. But you watch something like a Toyota Sequoia video, like a first gen Toyota Sequoia, these are all owners. These are all users. These are all people who understand that this is their personal car and they love it with the flaws or not the flaws or whatever. And those, like the Toyota Sequoia videos, are much, much more meaningful to me than the 2022 Tundra videos because basically I watch a bunch of videos that I could just read off a spec sheet, so to speak. So, all that to say, this video is going to be from an ownership perspective. Granted, I've only owned it for 1 month. So, this truck is lifted like it's like kind of a leveling lift, technically 3 inches in the front, 2 inches in the rear right now with the Westcott design 3 and 2 kit, which wasn't available for a while. I think it should be available now. And I'm on 35 inch by 1250 Toyo AT3s and Relation race wheels RR6. I think in the last video I might have accidentally said RR7. The 7s and the 6s are very similar. Zero offset, but if you want all of the information on that, I made a video. I'll link it up here if I remember. And then I kind of did just a long video about why I bought the Tundra, the features of it, why I went with the double cab instead of the Crew Max. So if you're interested in that, that was the first video I did on the Tundra, so I cover all of that. And then we got the Diamondback back there and the Yakima tall racks on the back. So real quick, that's where it's been sitting, and I color matched everything. I don't know, I did a couple other things that I'll show you, but not much. So I really like this. I really like this stage of the truck, and this is all the truck that a lot of people need, but I'm gonna be doing a little bit more to it, actually, just because I do this for a living. So I'm actually taking it up to Idaho soon. We're gonna do a full CBI, bumpers and I don't know everything they're gonna have for it, but I'm trying to build this thing up before Overland Expo West down in Flagstaff. So if you have the opportunity towards the end of May, come down, Overland Expo West. This truck will be in the Diamondback Covers booth. I'll be hanging out there, and I'll have the Tacoma, the KC Highlights booth, so check it out. But anyway, we're doing a little bit more of a build. I'm gonna put a Prince rack on top, full CBI bumpers, and then I'll add a winch and some lights, some KC lights and stuff like that. So not gonna be as crazy as the Tacoma, but will be a little bit more than this. Reason I mentioned that, stuff to look forward to, obviously, but also this suspension, I don't know, I may tweak it, I may change it, because I'm gonna be adding some more weight to this truck. So I'm gonna see how it rides, how it handles, how it's sitting, and I'll report back to you and kind of make some tweaks or won't make some tweaks. So I see a lot of Tundras on Instagram, and it's kind of like, it seems like, I'm not part of it, but it seems like a keeping up with the Joneses thing. I get people tag me or send me other Tundras that are like doing, going on 37s or whatever, and they're like, they say like, oh, Mike, you better catch up. And I'm kind of like, I don't need to catch up, actually. So this is like a little PSA, you do you. If everyone else is going to 37s and you are completely fine with 35s, stay with your 35. So I've been getting a lot of questions if I'm going to go to 37. Are you going to go, this guy went to 37, this guy went to the, I don't care what anybody else does. The 35s work really, really well. Do I think the 37s look cooler? Absolutely. But again, this truck is kind of trying to be more of a functional type truck. And I think 35s are a very good size for functionality on the Tundra, just like I think 33s are a really good size for functionality on the Tacoma. Having said that, I have 35s on the Tacoma, and it's a little bit extra because it's kind of a pain to get things working. So I think 35s is still a sweet spot. Will I go to 37s? I don't know, maybe in the future. But let's kind of break down my thoughts of 1 month ownership on the Tundra. Actually, quick interruption here. I want to give one of you guys this. This is from Drive Coffee. So I picked up a few new sponsors. One of them is Drive. You may have seen them. They have the sweetest coffee in these like kind of like oil cans. Awesome branding. They're actually the official coffee of F1, so you may have seen them there as well. But they are a Denver company. Been friends with them for a while. They roast here in Denver, and they're adventurers at heart. And this is the first of their kind of adventure series that they wanted me to give one of you guys. So I'm actually gonna give this away over on Instagram. I will put information down below, but right now, if you're watching this video, if you're on the notification squad, this giveaway is running right now over on Instagram. Last line of defense. Again, I'll put some info on Instagram and down below, but let me show you what this is real quick. So this is basically the first product in like an adventure series they want to get going, and it's really just designed to inspire and enable customers to go on new adventures, kind of an adventure blueprint. It's a collaboration with photographer Sinahue Xavier. I'm not sure if I said that right, but he takes dope photos, let me tell you. And this one specifically, the Escalante, was a journey to one of the most remote and visually stunning locations in America. This with the Pelican case is actually limited to 25. They're serialized, so once they're gone for this series anyways. And it comes with a Pelican 1510 case, 12 ounces of Escalante edition coffee, 2 Snow Peak titanium camp mugs, a Snow Peak titanium French press, and a Vessel coffee grinder, in addition to the Adventure Dossier, and that has like a limited edition photo journal and Drive coffee water resistant, tear resistant adventure map. So that's super sick. If you don't want to splurge, or if you missed out on this limited edition big kind of expensive Pelican run, but you do want to take part in the adventure, they do sell a cheaper kit, which does include the 12 ounces of coffee and the Dossier photo journal and water resistant map as well. So check that out. And again, details to win this bad boy will be in the video description, but you gotta enter over on Instagram. So if you don't have an Instagram, your kid might have one, feel free to enter under their account. And yeah, back to the video. So the Tundra, I've told you guys from the very beginning, I've loved how the Tundras looked. Granted, I didn't love how they look stock. I love how they look with a little bit of a lift and some wheels and tires, which is what this is. It's gonna look a little cooler with a bumper and some racks and stuff. I think so. Arguably it is, but some people may think differently. There's the 80 series Land Cruiser. I'm getting married. I'm gonna drive the Land Cruiser. That's gonna be like our getting married rig. So I'm gonna pull the cover off of that and give it some love here in a second. But the Tundra, so we have the color matched grille, we have the color matched handles, we blacked out the emblems, we de-chromified everything, and yeah, so we got all that going. This was one thing I was wondering about. Will this button work with the Diamondback covers? And it will, because I haven't cranked this down quite enough. It would compress a little bit more, but it does a pretty good seal of things as is like that. Now, this tailgate has some serious gaps in it. Not a quality control issue, nothing like that. Well, I mean, maybe, but all tailgates let a lot of weather through here. So I need to add some weather stripping, and then I'll probably kind of try to weather strip some various things a little bit better. I am noticing though, a little bit more gap here. This is something that like car reviewers do. They're like, oh man, this one has 1/8 inch less gap than over here, so this thing sucks. Thumbs down. I agree that we should hold automakers to a higher standard, maybe. But again, as a user of a vehicle, am I gonna notice this gap or whatever? If this gap in the bumper here is a little bit bigger, feels about the same, but if that's different, literally, I don't care. I got better things to do with my time than care about that. So have I noticed anything actually like quality control issues with this thing yet? I honestly haven't. Not to say they aren't there, I just haven't noticed them because I'm not nitpicking on that. Again, nothing against nitpicking, but I'm not really that kind of guy. Granted, if I have like wastegate turbo issues, that'll be a big thing. Or if something like actually breaks, that'll be a big thing. But fit and finish feels great to me. Like I get in this truck, it feels really, really nice. So again, coming up, I'll do a loadout video kind of showing everything I got there. I did vinyl wrap a couple of these like piano black gloss parts. There's basically here, over on the other side, and then this center console thing. I'm gonna redo this because I didn't remove it. I was like, I'm pretty good at wrapping things. I like wrap a lot of little like cell phones or headphones or MacBooks or whatever. So I like tried to not, I removed this handle off the top. But I tried to wrap this without removing anything, and it was kind of a disaster. Like there's some little cut marks and stuff. But you know how it is. Want to add a little bit of personal touch, a little personal flair. And I didn't really like, so you can see here, this is what it was. And it's kind of just like a fingerprint dust magnet. So this whole thing was basically piano black. Didn't like it. And I just think this, you know, looks kind of cool. It's a little textured thing. So I can link this down below if you care about it. The other thing I did was add a matte screen protector. It's actually kind of looks crazy in the camera. Like the camera is really overexposing. Let me try and turn it down to what it really looks like for me. So this is what it really looks like for me. And I put on a matte screen protector for some of the reasons that I wrapped this. This is a big, big gloss screen. It collects fingerprints and dust like crazy. Now when it's on, it's pretty bright. You don't notice it too bad, but I notice it. So I got a matte screen protector on here and I love it. So can highly recommend, I'll link to that down below as well. But big matte screen protector is kind of a pain to put on. It's very hard to get. I put the first one on and had a bunch of dust pieces, so I was like really diligent about putting the second one on. But matte screen protector, awesome. So like I said before, I don't use any of the infotainment. I use wireless CarPlay. It is awesome. It's the first vehicle I've had with wireless CarPlay actually. And being able to not take your key out of your pocket, not take your phone out of your pocket, and just come, open the door, start the truck, drive away. I love wireless CarPlay. It is very, very nice, especially for a daily driver. Like I don't even have, so I'm still trying to figure out the best solution to get CarPlay in my 2016 Tacoma. So I wouldn't mind plugging it in because that's not a vehicle I drive every day anymore. Wireless CarPlay, amazing. This massive screen, amazing. Ashley actually, after getting out of this car and getting into a RAV, she's like, man, I feel like my RAV's a piece of crap because the screen is so small in comparison. I kind of felt bad, honestly, but her screen is like kind of the same, like center, but it is much, much smaller than this. So honestly, like the cockpit feel, everyday driving, I just have the analog gauges with the little middle part. That's fine, you know? And this, super, super nice. I talked about it earlier. I like all of the HVAC controls here. So I don't need to use any of the like built-in infotainment type stuff because I care about music. Or here we go. I pulled it up for you so you guys would know if you're wondering about lift wheels, tires. Everything I want is here as far as navigation and entertainment. And then all of the controls are here. I've used 4-wheel drive and 4-low, and the locker, actually just dicking around in my backyard, snapping a couple photos in the snow. Love, absolutely love this rear camera. Last time I said I didn't know how to get out of this kind of worthless mode, and a couple of you guys commented, sorry about this beep, but when you're in drive or anything, you hit view and then you can get to it. So from this mode here, The cameras are very, very nice. I was navigating through some tight stuff in my backyard using kind of the different camera modes. Amazing. Again, this is the first vehicle I've had with like a nice 360 camera, and that is, I mean, it's super, super handy. I like the gear shift here. The armrest here is really nice. A lot of people I hear talking about how awesome this is. I don't use it as much. This is nice, certainly nice, but I drive primarily, and it's maybe back from when I used to always drive manuals. I am a left hand on the steering wheel guy. So this is really the armrest that's more important to me. And this armrest is quite nice when I'm just driving like that. Cup holder doesn't fit Nalgene. Big suck for sure. I haven't really filled and utilized the center console all that much. I will get that dialed. I'm still kind of trying to decide if I want to put that safe in here or not. If you have the safe and you love it, let me know down below. If you have it and you hate it, let me know. I would love to hear about your experiences with that. So this has been good overall. Ashley really likes it. One thing Ashley did say are the seats are firm, and she doesn't really like that as much. I actually put some Schliemann's I call them, some really nice orthopedic seats, crazy, stupid expensive, like more than $2,000 a seat. And those seats are firm. And so I kind of associate firm seats with good seats, and I like firm seats. So seats are firm, but just FYI, seats are firm if you hate firm seats. I like them. Ashley does feel like this is a little slick, like any leather would be. So she kind of gets car sick if she's a smaller woman, and you know, if I take the corner of the mountain roads a little too fast sometimes, and she's kind of like sliding around in here. So she probably prefers cloth seats for how it kind of holds her. And it would be nice if these were adjustable, like a lot of aftermarket seats, and really nicer, higher end vehicles have some adjustment here that can kind of squeeze her in. These don't have it, but overall, I love the seats. Like I mentioned before, loved heated seats, loved cooled seats. Very good. Cockpit feel is amazing. Gas mileage. That's what a lot of people are asking. What kind of gas mileage are you getting? I say this in almost every video just to give some a frame of reference, but I live in the mountains of Colorado. Look, there's still snow here. I live at almost 9,000 feet. I drive a lot of mountain roads, up and down, high elevation, just steep, curvy, windy. That's my life. And that is not, I don't get good fuel economy in any vehicle. I mean, unless I got like a really fuel economic vehicle. I'm getting, let's see if it says it here. I'm getting an average of 15 miles per gallon, right on the dot. I haven't done any nerdy calculations to see if I'm a quarter mile per gallon off or anything like that. I'm somewhere around 15, so not great. When I was completely bone stock, I drove this from Omaha back to Colorado, and I was driving at above 80 miles per hour the whole way, which is a really horrible speed. Anything above basically 60, your speed, like your miles per gallon, gets exponentially lower the faster you go. So I was averaging actually less than 15 miles per gallon when I was bone stock in the first like 600 miles because I was traveling really fast. So does this thing get great gas mileage? I don't think so. Does it get better than the 5.7? Absolutely. Sorry, I realize it's getting kind of boring probably just staring at my gauge cluster. So the engine, the drivetrain, how is it? It is incredible. Now, Ford EcoBoost, also incredible. The Ford hybrids, really good as well. It's a great time to buy a truck because all of the engines are good. This also is amazing. It drives really smooth, has no issues shifting. Sorry, I had people complaining about this, like, oh, the focus goes on your hands and it hurts me. But man, it feels like it has great power. Even for the 35s, I didn't notice a ton of power difference moving to the 35s. I didn't own the truck long enough or be detailed enough about trying to figure out my miles per gallon to know how much that was affected with the 35s in the lift, but power feels great. Like I could drive this around in eco mode the whole time and have no problems with it. And actually have been driving around in eco a little bit. The dial always reverts back to normal mode though. and then Sport feels really good. But the drivetrain, the shifting is smooth. It's never like revving out of control. It's never hunting, nothing like that. So driving this thing is a dream. Now the double cab, do I have any regrets? No, actually, I think it is sick. One thing I noticed in the double cab is this door is big. So when I don't like park in the back of a park. I park as close as I can. Life is short, man. I don't want to waste time walking. So if I'm in a normal kind of smaller parking lot, obviously it's a pretty big truck, I can get out just fine, but as you would guess, you can't open your door as wide sometimes. The thing that's kind of neat about this door is it's so small, you can open it all the way, and all the way, this is all the way open, is sticking out less than this door is when it's not open all the way. So the nice thing is like this door, how narrow it is, it's kind of nice for little kids because they're not flinging a massive heavy door into cars or anything like that. Having said that, obviously, back seat is smaller. Isabella, our 11-year-old girl, she's small, has no problems with the back seat. Now, the truck's kind of tall. I would like to get some steps, like sliders that have kind of a little step here so she can get in. But right now, this handle, she basically just pulls herself up with all of her might to get in here. But she says back seat's fine. Obviously, we got some charge ports and some water bottles and everything. So that's been good. I just have this, I use the back seat a lot, like I talked about, for storing stuff, for like transferring stuff to my guys that are making holsters or just carrying stuff down into town or going over to my parents and bringing them something. So I kind of just have this towel here. I don't know. It's the nicest. This is the nicest car I've ever owned. So I kind of want to keep it nice for a little bit. It's probably not going to last long, but I basically put this, this is like one of those Turkish cotton towels here to kind of protect. This is my main area. So again, driving 90% of the time here by myself. So I just use the back seat for storage. So I'll put things here or down on the floor here. So that's been working out great. And honestly, I really like this small door. Like, that's not something I ever thought about with like, oh, the small door will be nice for whatever, getting stuff out in parking lots or putting groceries away, not having to worry about like this big door swinging open. But that is actually a huge pro of the double cab. And then again, I showed this in some other videos, but a ton of storage space underneath. So double cab, still 10 out of 10 recommend. Granted, Crew Max, if you need all that space, it's nice and big back here. Really enjoying being able to use the Diamondback kind of as it's intended as well. So I have this bin back here. Actually, don't have much in it. I'm gonna throw some gear back here, but for now, just have some random things. I had to go repair the fence in my little orchard where probably all the trees are dead because there's some moles or shrews or something out there that just like ate through all the, like, I think all the roots of my trees are eaten. So I'm gonna need to do some pest control out there, but it's a lot of property, so I'll need to call some professionals probably. And then I was measuring some stuff out, placing some stakes for my future big barn garage thingy, which will be the future home of LLOD. So I like this little thing because I just keep some junk in here, and it's super nice to just be able to flip that up and access the back. So in the back of the truck, and then honestly, I really kind of forget to use this. And it doesn't look like, if I'm parked like on a slope or whatever, it's like just, this has just enough resistance how I have it to like, this kind of doesn't open like that every time. But back here, I don't have much. A couple Diamondback lights that I need to plug in, some boots. These are the Danner Mountain 600s. Some of my favorite boots of all time that I just kept when I was kind of walking around the property. It's a little muddy and junk. Some straps, and then I got this little like tool roll thing that I kind of hang on this cleat, and that has some tools and miscellaneous crap that I'll need to use here and there, and then some more tie downs and this little guy that I've been kind of like strapping some stuff to. This is a Front Runner Snatch It, I think, something like that. And then what I probably will do a lot of times, because a lot of times I'm just putting like relatively small things in the bed of the truck, is I'll probably cut a little 2x4 or 2x6 to slide in that. And then that basically sections off this little storage. So when I put stuff in the back, I always kind of have access to it like that. This stuff has not been sliding around at all. So I think this like super rough, aggressive texture really does like this. This is not like, this is just a very light little cardboard thing, but it hasn't moved. Like I've had them here, been driving like a maniac for a couple weeks now, and those stay put. So really, I like everything here. Again, I wasn't able to pick this. There's a few things I would have added, like the bed lights, if I was able to choose. So this doesn't have the bed lights like I would like the factory bed lights, but overall, really awesome. I've driven through some like little bit of rain and stuff here, and haven't got any water or weather inside that I know of. I do still need to add this. Diamondback does come with one extra kind of thicker weather stripping here that I need to put on, and there's like a couple gaps in the bed that I'll probably fix up, and then this thing will be pretty dialed. So yeah, seats, great, comfortable driving experience, awesome controls. I think the steering wheel controls, I complained on my Tacoma, like the volume and the seek were like reverse, kind of stupid. I think all the controls are laid out really well and intuitive on these guys. So I've been happy. I use a lot of the steering wheel controls instead of, you know, using stuff over there when I can. Heated steering wheel is amazing. I have actually used this little headlight adjustment, which people tell me is really mostly used for like adjusting it for when you're towing, but I adjusted that since I got my lift to kind of get that going. And I do use this occasionally. So pulling into my garage, I do fit it on this side of my garage. It's a little bit tight in there, but it'll like auto hit the brakes on me. So if I hit that, it turns it off. And if I'm going really slow, it won't auto brake for me with that off. Like I can run into the box that I kind of have at the end of the garage to let me in. Like I kind of have that as the marker for getting as deep into the garage as I can. I just have a box. Actually, it's a box of wheels for the Sprinter van. And I can run into that with this off. With it on, it like auto brakes for me. It's kind of annoying. I do like this little setup I have over here for just accessing junk. And I do have like a little cash clip. Ooh, carbon fiber for the extra horsepower. Just for like cash, buying snacks or whatever at gas stations, or if I feel like if Powerball ticket is real big or something, I'll buy one. So I kind of using that little cubby for miscellaneous junk like that. Sometimes I'll toss receipts in there or whatever. So overall, really been liking this. I kind of almost want to figure out how to put a little like pistol safe under here. Like this is kind of some wasted space. I may put a ham radio in this thing. I actually bought one to put in, so I'll probably put one in and that'll probably go under here. But if not, I kind of want to like, it'd be nice if there's just like a little pull out or even just a little flap that opened and you can kind of like get something out. That'd be nice. I'd like to add something like that. I did check this out, get a Wicked, a rock chip, like the second week I own this thing. So that was a pretty huge bummer. I do still want to add a dash cam up there and pull this apart, figure out what I can tap into for some power. So that's kind of on the agenda. And other than that, honestly, it's been a great truck. I really, really, really like it. No regrets. I love I feel like at first I really liked the previous generation double cab. I have a friend, Philip, that just bought a 2021 TRD Pro double cab. And he kind of got me on the double cab bandwagon a little bit. And at first, when the new Tundras were out, I was like, man, this double cab looks so much uglier than the previous gen. But man, I love it now. I don't know what it is about it, but I love it. I think it's gorgeous. So yeah, highly recommend. I mean, it's great. I talked about a lot of the frustrations I had in the first video I did. And those are still frustrations that, I mean, those are frustrations. If you haven't, it's an hour long. I went ham on that first video, but I talk about a lot of the things that the Tundra could have done better. A lot of the things where I just felt like they didn't have any ingenuity. It was just like run-of-the-mill truck. Like I really was hoping for more. That's not really the Toyota way, to be like super featureful and everything like that, but I would love it if they did. So if you want to hear me complain about all that stuff, I did that in the first video. And the reason in this video I'm not really talking about is just because when you're using the truck, I just don't really care. I just use the truck, I get in, and it works. I compared the Toyota, like the Tundra or the Tacoma or Toyotas in general, just kind of to Glocks. Like, not a ton of features, but man, after a good range session, you're just like, wow, that thing just worked. So the Tundra it works well. Like, it does everything I needed to do. The power is really nice. The features, obviously, big screen, cooled seats, heated steering wheel, adaptive cruise control, 360 cameras. Like, that's the current tech that I want out of like a modern, expensive vehicle. And this truck has all that, and everything that I just listed, it does really well. So do I like it? Absolutely. Do I wish it got better fuel economy? Yeah. I wish I was like cruising on the highway getting 20 miles per gallon. And I think some people are, but again, my driving is not quite like that. So to close it out, some people have asked me like, how does it compare to the Tacoma? And then some people have asked me like, how does it compare to the Sequoia? It's comparing apples to oranges when you do that kind of stuff. And even comparing it to the Tacoma, kind of apples to oranges as well. So the Tundra, if you're thinking about like, oh man, I was thinking about trading in my Tacoma for a Tundra, or I was going to get my first truck and it's between a Tacoma or a Tundra. I don't know. They're different trucks. The Tacoma is going to be easier to park. This is still a full-size truck. So before this truck, for a year, actually, I had an F250, and it was on 39. This is a big, big beast of a truck. The Freedom Tremor, which we gave away a while back. Some videos on that. Oh, real quick, I'm not actually sure. I need to touch base with Diamondback, but there was an issue with hats. So I'm just throwing this in a random video. So hat shipments were delayed. There was a big global supply chain shortage of the multicam black hats that we chose to use for this. And we didn't order them up front because we didn't know how many people were going to enter that giveaway. So the plan was always, and even on the website, we'll ship your products 4 to 6 weeks after the giveaway closes. Then we know the final number, then we can order all the stuff, we can get it all embroidered, and then we can ship it out. We could not get the hats. I wasn't actually involved in any of this. Diamondback could not procure the hats. They got some and they've been shipping them out. They've been shipping them out as fast as they could get them, but they needed to put in a bulk order and that just wasn't available. So they've been like just trying to grab them, here and there, small orders when they can and ship them out. They've sent multiple emails out to anybody who's ordered, giving them updates and giving them options like, oh, if you need the hat now, like we can make you a black one, but the multicam black's gonna have to wait. So a lot of people have like hit me up like, you stole my money, blah, 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 this is a fraud. It's not a fraud, just check your emails, bros. But we screwed up on that. Terribly sorry. It's a weird time in the world when you just can't buy all the hats you want like you normally can. So huge apologies to anybody. People have been tagging me in posts, so I know we're shipping them out to people. The hats have been getting, we've been shipping the shirts and the sweatshirts out. That's all kind of has been taken care of a while back. But the hats should be shipping. A lot of people got them, so maybe they're all shipped. Maybe everyone has them by now, but apologies for that. But Diamondback did communicate, sent out multiple emails, I know, because I got those emails out to people. So we screwed up a little bit there. Won't happen again. Apologies. So yeah, sorry. Anyway, that little distraction, get back to F250 felt big. It felt like I love driving. I love that F250. It's nice. That thing got very bad gas mileage, probably like 10 or 11 out of that 7.3 Godzilla. For how I drive, again, I get bad gas mileage. Not that I drive crazy, just like where I drive is not good on gas mileage. So anyway, the F250 felt noticeably bigger than the Tundra. The Tundra feels bigger than the Tacoma, but not as much bigger than the Tacoma as the F250 felt than the Tundra. But the Tundra is closer in size to the F250 than it is to the Tacoma. I know that's kind of a weird explanation, but having said that, out of that like sample size of trucks that I've either owned now or have recently owned, the Tundra doesn't feel too big. Granted, definitely feels bigger than the Tacoma. Definitely is harder to park than the Tacoma. I back the F250 into every spot. I back the Tundra into most spots as well, unless it's like, big parking lot, easy to park. And it's not because like I see this thing on Instagram that like people are like, oh, backing into spots because you think you're cool, or backing into spots so I can look at the front of my truck. I actually love the back of the truck as well. So I simply back into spots for a few reasons. One, it's way easier to get out. When you're trying to back out of a spot and there's traffic and people walking and grocery carts and everything, it's kind of a pain. So I like to forward out of spots. Also, tactically, it's faster to get out. I don't know. But Tundra, harder to park than the Tacoma, but easier to park than the F-250, obviously. Turning radius, not great. I have done U-turns and stuff at lights or whatever, and I've been able to do every one that I've needed to do. There hasn't been a time where I'm just like, oh, this limousine just doesn't turn sharp enough. But like when I'm coming down my driveway to turn into my garage, I get to lock pretty quick, thinking that like, I feel like I should like be able to turn tighter than this, and I can't. So the turning radius did go up on the 2022s versus the 2021s, the previous gen. And I don't know why. That's kind of stupid. I feel like that's just laziness. Maybe there's a reason. Obviously there's engineering, there's a lot of space requirements for how far your wheel needs to go. And it's like, I understand what is involved in turning, but I feel like they should have made more clearances so you could crank the wheel a little bit further. Because that's the main thing. The main thing about a big truck is, yeah, it's big, but one of the main things is you just can't turn as tightly. Now, if you could just crank it a little bit more, I think that would help a lot. So Tacoma, much more maneuverable. It's more like driving like an SUV or something. Granted, whenever I drive Ashley's RAV, I'm just like, man, driving around this micro machine's nice. Like I got park it anywhere and like turn anywhere. The Tacoma and the Tundra, you kind of got to plan your parking. You know, you got to really pull it wide to get in. You got to think of how you're going to exit. You got to think of, well, where am I back? Stuff like that. But Tacoma versus Tundra, I would say if you need to park in smaller places, if you're like driving through the city or whatever, or you just don't need more room. If you don't need more room, Tacoma is a great option. But the Tundra, far and away, like not even in the same realm. The Tundra drives much nicer. Just the engine and the drivetrain, the 10-speed auto. The suspension a little bit stiff, but it's not like super cush on the Tacoma either. So like the driving experience much better in the Tundra. Cockpit, roomier. I mean, all of these are like kind of common sense to me, but people ask me like, should I get a Tacoma or should I get a Tundra? I don't know. It's really a personal opinion. Bigger, more powerful. Tacoma, smaller, more nimble. So hope that helps. I'm planning to kind of do Tundra videos here and there. Obviously like update videos. I'm going to take you guys up to Idaho. I'm actually going up to CBI, Princeton up in Idaho Falls in a couple weeks here to have them just put on everything. So I'm going to be like filming that. So let me know if you have questions about that or want to see certain aspects of it or just questions about the Tundra in general. I'll try to get you answered. Yeah. And then I'll give you an update if you have questions like how are the Toyo AT3s? Awesome. Had them on my LX570, had them on Ashley's RAV. They stay balanced. They seem great. They have good traction. They're not very loud. So I like them. I feel the same on this. So also going to be doing a lot of updates to the Tacoma. I mean, not a lot, but a fair bit of updates that I'll keep you guys in. Sequoia video I'll do soon as well. I know a lot of people were interested in the Sequoia, especially over on Instagram. I made a post like, hey, I got a Sequoia, I'm going to do some budgets. So I'm going to do some budgets. I'm not going to go crazy on it. Like I know a lot of people would like to see me go crazy on that, but the whole concept of that is to stay relatively budget. Now, am I going to buy like $30 shocks on Amazon? I'm not going to go that budget. So I'm just not going too crazy with it, but I'm picking out like, I'm going to do like Dobinson 5100s, and I think I'm going to lift it 2 inches, but not mess with too much stuff. Like 2 inches is about the max. I'll talk about the Sequoia stuff later, but I'm going to lift it and put it on 33s and probably put a roof rack on it and maybe a couple other things, but that's basically it. All right, the rain is actually starting to come down now, so I'm going to wrap this video up. Wish us a happy wedding because we're getting married in a couple days, so next time you see me, actually maybe by the time you see this video, Ashley and I will be husband and wife. Sweet. Pray for us that the weather is good on our wedding day because that is all Ashley cares about. The wedding is good. Sorry. So, yeah. All right, guys. As always, links down below. Appreciate the support. Until next time, take care.